Alrighty, guys, going live. Just getting this set up. I'd rather go slow because when I get in a hurry, I click the wrong button, and we don't like that. There it is. What I always do at the beginning of these is there's a button that says pop out the chat, and that way it's in its own little window. It's just easier for me. I'm curious, anyone else who live streams, is that easier for you, or do you like to have it all on the same page? I think why it's easier for me is kind of self-explanatory. So how's everyone doing this Tuesday? I guess this will be the last Tuesday of September, and the first Tuesday of fall or autumn, if you prefer. Alright, I'm going to see what's already been posted here. Big Shug says, howdy. And yes, I've been safe and well. Blue Cookie. An AMD 65 is a fine choice to be. I don't actually have an AMD 65 out here this time. I'll bring it. Really was lost? Yes, past tense. I'll explain. No, Big Chuck, it wasn't even technical this time. Hey, I was 5 minutes late. I was grabbing me a quick bite to eat, and I thought I had enough time. It was 7:50, and I thought, oh, I can eat in 15 minutes. And time I washed up, and then I put a few things in the dryer, and you know how time goes. Brian Upton, hey, you're new around here. Welcome. Hey, Chris. Taticus, you say it'd be nice to have a cabin and property. Which state do you live in? Yeah, I was curious if the camera was on or not. There's a little switch up top, but it's yeah. Let me know if my cat hops in. I brought her out for the first time this week. I thought it would be safe enough for her. Yeah, Blue Cookie. I was checking it. It was Blue Cookie, but yeah, it's Cookie. At least that's how my speech says it. I don't know. I think I just like to make my life difficult. And and about the time I get used to where buttons and things are in YouTube, that's when they change it. So yeah, gun glut. Why am I so picky about how accurate clones are? Because I'm good like that. Pike opossum. What's up with Pioneer Arms? I don't know. I'm out in the mountains. I heard a little bit about that. I haven't really looked into it. A lot of times, what I'll do when stuff's just coming out, it's a lot of innuendo, speculation. I like to let things sit for a few days, let responses happen. Because if you notice, anytime there's a story about anywhere, anything, not just gun stuff, the first reports, the initial reports, are usually either fragmentary or just wrong. I can't say much, but even the whole KUSA thing, they're not entirely dead in a weird way. Like this stuff gets complicated. And Pioneer Arms, like who owns it? Well, KUSA too. The ownership of these companies gets strange. Hey, Chris. Yeah, hurricanes. We have tornadoes here. I'd rather have a tornado, and the reason is, and I don't like them. I mean, my brother had one knock a tree into his house just like a month ago, so they suck. But they're here and they're gone, and either you're hit or you're not hit. Hurricanes really just drag that all out, and yeah, yeah, I feel for you, man. Blue Cookie, Pioneer. If they're gone, they're gone. I mean, they're just another company. It didn't really affect me. The best things they ever did were the PPS 43s and lesser extent the PM 63s, the builds. They were all right. The semi-automatic trigger groups they use suck, but that could be replaced. Hey, Sunny Cat. Um, how'd the retina reattachment go? Yeah, that makes sense. YouTube sonographer. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't sure if I had the camera. I'm actually sitting outside on the porch, if you can't tell by the background noise, and that will get into the story about getting lost and Bluetooth. Hello, Beast from Switzerland. I'm in the Ozarks. And you know what? I think for the first time, I don't have a Swiss gun with me this time. There's almost always a B&T or a SIG out here, but yeah, I've got a German gun. I've got an Italian. Shoot, I don't think I. Yeah, that's weird. Just now occurred to me. A dummy. Yeah, everything's good with me. How's things with you? Show you more AKs. I've shown how many AKs over the years. Kind of running out of different ones to show, except for like the really, really rare ones. You know, what can we do? But I do have a couple of AKs with me on this trip, so shooting footage will be coming of a couple of videos. Catechus. Oh, Utah. Oh, that's crazy. I kind of assumed you lived on the coast. A friend I've known since elementary school moved out to Oregon, and I know he's had their properties out there, and he has money. And even to him, it's hard. And of course, Long Island and anywhere up Massachusetts is impossible, but Utah too, huh? Speaking of money, if anyone can toss in some bucks, I'll answer questions or do whatever. Or, I'll show you the cat. I'll get Miss Peanut up. She's been lazy today. She keeps wanting to sleep in the bed. Yeah, dummy. That's the KUSA thing is actually one of the video topics I've kind of scheduled to do this week. Um, and I'll see exactly what I can and can't say. And I always err on the side. I'm not trying to be all secret squirrel. I'm not special, but the way to get people to tell you things in confidence is to not blab. So when I'm not sure what can and can't be said, I will ask them, and that way in the future I will be told more things, and at least I can help guide people that way. Yeah, Taticus. Yeah, I can't imagine. I've got one of the little North American made in Provo, excuse me. And I don't know if you know this, but half my family are LDS, so I think the connection to Utah is enough said there, right, including Provo. But no, that little revolver is a great little thing. I got it for a birthday gift many years ago. Big Shug. Yeah, color choice done by a blind guy. It was kind of interesting when the contractor was like, paint swatches. But what I did is I kind of told J-Ro, he just happened to be the one who was driving me out that day. He helped a lot, but I've had other friends that pitched in a lot to help me out here too. But anyway, since he is kind of an artsy fartsy type dude, I kind of gave him the basic idea of what color I envisioned, and he picked the individual hue, shade, whatever. Outdoor vision. Fair price to pay for 104s. Fuck if I know. But if you mean fair, what I really think they're worth. I've always thought the 104 UR is criminally underrated. It's really the only authentic AKSU crink, if you will, in 545 to ever get imported. That's pretty great, and they are almost a one-to-one clone in every single way to a early '80s Tula, because that's when Arsenal Bulgaria kind of got the rights to make the AKSU. That's why they have the older style twist rate, because Russia didn't switch to the somewhat faster twist until late '80s because of Afghanistan. But anyway, really criminally undervalued. I think it's because some of them shipped with plastic furniture in the long barrel. Man, put the right furniture on it, which you don't need gunsmithing. Cut the barrel and SBR it. It is a Krinkov. So with that said, whatever Krinkov parts kits builds are going for, I would definitely pay more for the Arsenal. Um, I'm just pulling a number out of my rear. What I think's fair? $2,500. Anything more than that, it's cool. But you asked what I thought was worth. There I go. That's worth. The 104 FR, I recently showed that in the video because I wanted Fox to shoot a couple of rounds through it. Again, it's the only true AKS 74 import in 545. That's great. Uh, you got the SGL 3194s out there, which are AK 74Ms, but a lot of people don't see the difference. I'm going to say, all in all, because you don't have to do work to it, as cool as I think the 104 UR is, because it does require work, I'm going to say fair price for a 104 FR, 2,800. Anything more than that in today's market, and even that to me is too much, but I think it's fair. And then if you want to be fair, pitching in a buck would help. Sorry, my thing kind of stuttered there. Yeah, if the internet's a little jumbly or whatever, sorry again, I'm on the top of a mountain. Ben Cotton, is PSA going to take over the market? No. Sunny Cat, um, glad the surgery went well. Not going to ask why your anatomics are now restored to where you want them. Uh, was it an unfortunate accident with a wheat picker? And if you get that reference, high five. Also, if it makes you feel better, my cat's three-legged, so we're a couple of cripples together here. We work well. Powerful preps. Hey, man. A dummy. Try to find an AK-12. I mean, there are no imports, so all AK-12s are parts kits builds here. And then you get into which parts were used, quality of the parts. Yeah. Thank you very much, Ben Cotton. Back in the day, $2 makes me think of $2 bills, and that makes me think of fake $3 bills that were printed back in the day that had Bill Clinton's portrait on them. That was right around 1998. Rusty surplus. I mean, you can point them over here if you want. You might put them to sleep, but sure, why not? And the usual caveat stands. I'm not perfect, and I definitely make mistakes, say things wrong, and learn new things. So trust but verify anything on the internet. Sunny Cats, I'm glad your WBP is working out well. I like mine too. Right now, mine that I shoot set up as an AKML tap rack, but he retracted his message. As always, feel free to say what's up. Yeah, I don't know that she'll do it. Again, three-legged cat, and she tends to be a little calm. She's not old, but she's not young. She's about 8, so we'll see. But she might. Since I'm not in the room, she might investigate it. If not, I'll go drag her out of her bed later. And by her bed, I mean it was my bed, but she took it over. The first night we were staying here, we fought over the blanket, and she won. Thanks, Outdoor Vision, and thanks, Chris. Sure, Rusty Surplus. Rusty, my trick is I just write down notes. I've got files going back decades in some cases on my uh, computer that like one's marked like burial notes, or one's marked like SG550 notes, or if I just run across anything interesting, production numbers, military contract numbers, quotes, stuff that even if you think you remember it, brains are not perfect. So it's just good to have that reference, even if you look back and go, "Oh yeah, that's what I thought it was." When it's written down there, you trust your memory. That's how I keep track of things. Zevin, yeah, I'm about to explain that title. I will. I just want everyone to get in here and. Hey, Peter. Greetings from the Ozarks. What town? There's not really a town here. Sunny Cat. I think WBPs are. I mean, most everyone who owns or has shot one enjoys it. They're not a huge company, so they're not going to just produce 50,000 a year. And also, they're not the cheapest. I think they're definitely worth it. But some people only look at price. And honestly, I think one reason that Palmetto State has so much impact is they're carried in local gun stores, and WBPs often aren't. Taticus. Yeah, the CX, the PX, all that, those are really interesting and weirdly fun guns, aren't they? Yep, I've still got my PX 49. It had night sights; they're probably dead now, but it came with 3 mags. It was like $350. I mean, Chris, funny you mentioned favorite AR build. I'm out here and I have 2 with me. I'm not saying they're my favorites, but I was just bringing guns out. One is my Colt M16A4 that I've loosely set up over the years to be like a Marine rifle. That's always a fun one. And I haven't had it out in way too long. I brought out the Colt DOE, the model 633, which is the little briefcase 9 mil. But if you really just say straight up favorite AR, it's going to be really hard for me not to say If we're talking modern, the Colt LE6920 SOCOM. um, sorry guys, I was eating some granola and got in my throat there. But the SOCOMs, they've got pretty much what you need without a whole lot of extra crap. I like the simplicity of the Knights rail. I like that they do have iron sights still. Uh, H2 buffer is nice. They're soft shooting, not ammo sensitive, not mag sensitive. The only one that really gives it run for its money is sure like the classic Colt SP1 or like a M16A1 Vietnam retro build on a Nodak. I love how you get a full length 20-inch gun, but it's so feather light for what it is. So there's two. If I just had to say you only could have two ARs, that'd probably be it. M16A1 Vietnam style, give or take SP1, or a Colt LE6920, M4 SOCOM type. Cookies suck, okay? I'm glad I got you into AKs. I'm thrilled, and I'm not being sarcastic, that I got you into Japanese rifles. That's the reason I like to do older videos. They never get hardly any views, but if it gets one or two folks in, like I recently did that video on Browning handguns, I that's really my passion. I really like AKs, but my passion is the older stuff. And the nice thing is, Japanese guns still aren't banned in California, so mainly 7.62. Interesting where in the bolt carrier channel. I think I know what you're talking about, the little cam, the little track there. I mean, interesting's one thing. I mean, if it gets concerning, you could definitely let Arms of America or Atlantic know. But yeah, guns do wear differently. If it makes you feel better, I still have the prototype Fox rifle that came in, what, 2018, 2017? I don't know. And it's multiple thousands of rounds through it, and it's fine. So, and I've got a couple of other WBPs, as does Fox, my cousin, and Jay for that matter. So, in my little like close friend group area, there's probably half a dozen, and none of us have experienced major issues even after shooting them 4 or 5 years. But as I always say, every manufacturer does make a lemon. Ben, about the HKs and the boxes. Funny you should mention that. I was just talking to a guy today, and he was talking about having HK4 in the box. I don't know. It does indicate that people, even back then, tended to buy them more as collectibles, keepsakes, than just shooters. But I will say this too. You see a lot of Glocks and SIGs and even Berettas. A lot of those could have been duty guns, police or whatever, or guns that people bought. The HK, while you do see some LE trade-in USPs and P7s, especially the P7s, I don't think they were used that much and surplused out. I think they were bought by people who were gun aficionados, which is cool, but they were never just like used heavily. So that's probably why they still had the box. Yeah. Even in the 80s, HK had a bit of a name for itself. Sunny Cats. Yeah, I almost brought the PDP, Sunny Cats. Funny, I'll have to do that next time. The only reason I didn't is I'm trying to get the exact right optics mount for the optic I want to put on it. I got it on there, but I don't like how the screw's set. I'm going to get a slightly different plate, and then I'm going to bring it out. But, I put a threaded barrel on it, and so I can run the suppressor from the PPQ, and that works well. But no, I really like it. I mean, it's basically a Gen 4 P99, if we're being honest. Gen 3 being the PPQ, but it's got enough of updates that I do like it. I do have a couple other Walthers out here with me this time. Big Shug. Heading out, man? Yeah, I just hopped on here tonight. I figured that Tuesday night. I didn't know what was going on. I hate to schedule live streams too much in advance because it seems like if I do, then something happens. Someone comes and visits, or I don't know. Things happen. Rusty surplus. Hey, Clayco. Thanks, man. Let's see. Let's start WBP. They're not, they never did a whole lot of milled receiver work, but I will say this. The door isn't shut and locked on them doing milled again. It's more to do with economics. And as I mentioned earlier in the stream, they're a relatively small factory, so they need to kind of focus on what is selling. But there's nothing that says they couldn't do like a limited run of 500 mil guns again in the future. There's not like a big reason not. Pioneer, well, I've heard about it. I've been so busy the last week or so, I haven't had time to dig into it or even ask around. I did, to be honest, I do. It is news. It's news. It's just not news I much care about. That said, Fox, when he comes out, is bringing the Pioneer that we had, and he's been beating up, and people have reported some interesting things and higher round counts. So we are going to put another couple hundred rounds through the Pioneer gun, and that'll be a video, and we'll talk about Pioneer. As far as the Brills, yeah, I think I pretty much said all I could in that last video. They were always on limited, and the last Polish government contract was in 2019, and that was mostly to refurbish and repair existing Brills more than buying new ones. So once that contract was completed, the U.S. really was the only customer because Nigeria purchased the license in 2018 to make their own. Now, jury's out if they actually are, but they have the license. So they were really just tying up space and time in their factory only for us, and it just wasn't worth it. Conversely, the AK market is shit this year, and Arms of America, and I completely agree with this decision, just doesn't want to order more. And the only reason that FB would even entertain the notion of building more barrels for us would be if it was a large enough order to make it economically viable. And final point, if people don't like the current prices on barrels, say 15 to 1800, the next contract would have been more expensive. And I think AOA realized that. Like, the winds could change, but in the end, I am just super thankful we had the mini barrel come in. After all the teasing from Radom USA, Ted Marshall, and all that, I'm just tickled we did get something, even if it was necessarily short lived. It's a shame that importation could not have started 2014, so we would have had a better run of it. But, you know, better to be grateful for what we have than limit what we never got. Glass half full kind of attitude. Chris Bull. Well, I mean, mags are available for the SAM. They're just little mags. I've actually got quite a few of the Arsenal 5 and 10 rounders. User. RH10 combo back loose. Yeah, I'm not shocked, sadly. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. What man doesn't like to hear you were right, especially what married man? Because it's sure something we never get to hear at home, right? Can you tell my wife's nowhere nearby? Sure, Clayco. What's up? Doopy doopy. Got a new keyboard too. Last time I was out here with my travel keyboard, it was killing my wrists. So it's a clicky one, if you couldn't tell. Thanks, Sean. All right, this seems like a good time that things have slowed down. Let me go get a sip of water. I thought about bringing one out here and I didn't. Why? I don't know. Again, I like making my life more difficult. And then I'll tell you the story of the title. Walking in, walking in. Oh, dooby dooby dooby. It's actually decent weather tonight. Hey guys, wonder how widescreen the camera is. Ah, still having to drink water from a jug. Sure, the well water looks fine, but you never know. Be just my luck to catch some kind of weird ass mountain bug. And speaking of the story, yeah, earlier today, when I say on the phone, my cell phone doesn't get a signal out here, and so I use Google Voice on this computer, same way I'm talking to you on the headset. And Sammy the dwarf called me, just chit chatting about this and that. He does. And so I thought, I had set my hammock up and moved it out into the yard. I'm gonna go, kick back in the hammock while he's talking on, because carrying on about different things. Well, I thought, do I need to get my cane? Because I knew where the hammock was. I thought it was right off the corner of the place. Long story short, I didn't bring my cane, and I think I overshot the hammock or something. And my merry little ass went out into the woods and got turned around. And when I thought I was walking closer to the cabin, I was probably actually going much further away. So yeah, he was just talking on there and the thing. But what actually made me feel good was I knew I couldn't be that far away because the Bluetooth was still connecting. It would, kind of fuzz out for a minute now and again, but I knew it couldn't be that far away and still have connection. That said, I'll give props to Bluetooth. Like this Bluetooth 5 point whatever they're on now, they said it has better range, and it sure does. The old 4 points, you could usually just get around the house, maybe backyard, anywhere, a few dozen feet, maybe 100 if you were super lucky. I probably went 400, 500 feet, maybe even more. So yeah, there I was, just kind of wandering around the yard, which is a mountain because my place is at the foot of a mountain. So yeah, I knew something was going wrong when the train started going uphill pretty good, and it has a pretty good uphill cant to it. And wasn't worried. It was just kind of funny. Now on the other side of my property, there's a drop off because there's a creek. So I was like, okay, as long as I don't drop off into that creek, because it's a good probably 15 feet straight down, I'm fine. There's not much that can happen to me. So yeah, it's just kind of wandering around the woods. I will say though, right after I kind of found myself, but that's what I was doing is I picking up sticks and tossing them around and hearing what they hit. Meanwhile, Sammy's just going away in my ear, and just talking about stuff. I'm like, yeah, great. Let's figure out where the hell I'm at. And then finally, I found my well, which was good. And then at least now I know where it's at. And then just kept throwing a couple of rocks and hit a post, and that was that. But yeah, it went on for probably 15 minutes, 20. I don't know. It bemused me. Um, if the Bluetooth had cut out, then I'd be like, crap, this isn't good. At least I had someone on the quote unquote phone. So if worse comes to worse, like if I'd fallen and hurt myself, I could have said, hey, man, can you call some local authority in this county and send someone out? Because I just broke my leg. But shit happens. That is life. But see, it's actually good because when I'm with people, they're always correcting me where to go and everything, and they're trying to be nice, and it is nice and it is useful. But sometimes doing things like that on my own, it fundamentally teaches us stuff that having people direct, just never can or will. And that's why I'm coming out. I was out here nearly a week last time, and probably a week this time, maybe more. I don't know, but it's just learning, like, and also figuring out things to that I need, like something you wouldn't think of. But I don't have an oven mitt. Didn't realize that till I went to go get a hot pan out of the oven, and no, I do not have an oven mitt. Yeah, so learning stuff like that, and I think I will relocate the hammock to maybe a slightly easier to locate thing, But hey, good news is once I finally did get in the hammock, I didn't fall out. But that's pretty much the story. Just got a little lost wandering my yard, and by yard I mean the foot of a mountain, because on one side there's that river drop off. On the other side of the property there is the highway, the road. But on the other two sides, it's just wilderness, essentially completely untamed. My little spot here was cleared out years and years ago because it was an orchard, a little grove, but it never had power or water or anything like that. It was just a little, and I'm sure the reason they picked it was a little flat area at the base of a mountain, and I'm sure they did a little bit of minor landscaping. But I liked it because it had trees, but not a ton of rocks and stuff. At least not for a mountain. So tis the story that happened right before I did this live stream. When I wandered back and got on the phone with Sammy the dwarf, I posted this live stream, went and grabbed a bite, uh, like I said, granola type things, because actually a pot I want to use to cook with later is in the dishwasher. So I figured while the dishwasher is doing dishwasher things, I'd hop on here. So there you go. Are you bored yet? Fun fact about Sammy. I don't know why. I thought he was older than me, and I realized I'm older than him. And then that just made me feel even older than I already do. All right, guys, I'm going to catch up on what you guys have said while I was rambling. Chris is asking about aircraft models. No, not really. I just haven't really seen anything, had any calls, and yeah, I just haven't. Other priorities right now, I guess, but at the same time, nothing that I just can't live without has popped out. Have they finally released that Mirage 3? Man, that was supposed to be in like in March. Hello, 123. Yeah, thanks for the camera check on that. I didn't realize it was widescreen either. We'll keep that in mind for future reference. Hey, Tusk, thank you very much. Yeah, I might have a spare Baril grip back at the house. I feel like I do. I know what you mean. It's a little kind of squared off and clunky, and it is a shame to take a gun that's relatively light and trim and add all that on, but it doesn't turn too heavy, and at least everything that's on there is functional. It's not just a bunch of, and everything's very robust. Nothing feels chintzy. The king. Oh, you never know me, Chris. I'm sure I'll fall off plenty of things in my life. But the porch does have rails now, which A lot of my friends were concerned last time I was going to go straight off the porch, but didn't happen. Alexis V. Thanks. Good shot. Yeah, enjoying it. We've had a good few days out here. It was really hot and extremely humid, especially for this time of year, Saturday and Sunday. But luckily, yesterday evening it started to get better, and today is actually what I'd classify as the first nice day. And once the sun went down out here in the mountains, I actually shredded my shorts for some kind of light long pants because it should get somewhat cool tonight. A dummy? You asked me my opinion on the whole Israel thing. Do you think I'm a dummy? I'm not stepping in that. No, this channel's never been about politics. I will just say that I am traditionally rather, very much in the camp of Israel deserves to be a state. It's kind of the least that can be done after World War II. However, no one's perfect, and anytime, anywhere, Ukraine's a great example, of course, civilians get caught in the middle. It's just sad. Uh, People just trying to go about their goddamn lives. And unfortunately, it's radicals that wreck that. So, yeah, I'm just kind of in favor of live and let live, and people are able to, yeah, have their lives, go to job, and be with their kids, their spouses, and do their thing. Sharpshooter, Matt Morrison. Uh huh. Emily. Tusk. Hangs dong. I mean, if you want, I guess it is good that I changed pants before going live. Then, if it was not dark outside, I was gonna bring the laptop out on the porch and just kind of point it towards the mountain. Which during daylight, if it were summer, I would. But I'm afraid you wouldn't see much out here now. Sharpshooter HD18. What was the thread pitch? You mean the thread pitch on the original front side assembly, the one that came from FEG? I think it was standard 5/8 24. Yeah, yeah, 5/8 24. Because I had took the same type of device. The muzzle brake that came off of it actually screwed onto one of my Remingtons that had that. So yeah, Piercy, probably nothing too heavy. I just doing this. Um, I do some rice, some beans, and then I've got a couple of types of sausage in the fridge. Probably fry up a sausage. Nothing, yeah, nothing too fancy. I don't. I cooked a pork chop Saturday night. I need to run into town and get some basic groceries about now. So when it's just one person, it's hard to really get the gumption up to cook a whole lot. Matt Morrison, what's a decent price for a bulgy Makarov? I'd say in this day and time, if you get a really nice one, holster a couple of mags, you'll probably spend about 500, maybe 400 if you get a good deal. Crazy, I know. Hey, Chris. Yeah, I don't know how late I'll be on the night either. I just, when I tried to do a live stream from the cabin back in July, that did not work well. So yeah, thought I would at least give her a gander. It was on my to do list for the events at the cabin, And I will probably do at least one more while I'm out here. Emily, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the links. I never sit down and memorize the links. I just know them from there. And unfortunately, I'm not at my place that I could go check for you right now. Uh, Sorry. And it wouldn't shock me too if they changed a bit over years. Like Belgian made 24 versus Yugo made 24 versus 2447. And of course, remember too, the Yugoslavians used both the Czech VZ24 and the FN model 1924 as the Model 24, although they had different suffixes. So yeah, Yugo stuff can get a little much. If it helps, I really don't think it is the 400 millimeter option. Yeah, the other one, I'm just not there. If you just made me guess, I would say 310. But don't take me at that. Just going off memory, it's not one of the super short ones, but it's not the long ones either. DJ. No, I'm really not much of a suppressor person. I think it's a generational thing. I didn't start hearing about suppressors until quite late. I don't know. That's more of a Fox question. I just, we've all got our focuses, and I think they're fun. It's just, mm. Matt Morrison. Chris, looking for a Bebenambu. Unless I'm just way off base, which I could be, but a lot of times those old guns kind of stabilize out. I'm gonna say if you can find one for under four that's in good shape with a matching mag, great. If you find one for 3,000 or less, that's a deal. So I'm gonna say between 3 and 4,000. Of course, there are factors. Matching mag affects it quite a bit. Most of the babies out there are in really good shape. So, if you see one that 95% condition and the seller won't shut up about how great it is, great. I'm glad it's in great shape. Most all the other ones are. So don't let the first really pretty one you see allure you. They're mostly that way. But matching numbers seem to affect the value more than that with that type of gun, because sometimes those original mags get lost. Sharpshooter. Where did I find the front sight assembly with the short, which is kind of like a tiger style flash hider? Where did I get that? I think it was in like Russian surplus net back in the day. Yeah, I'm quite sure it was Russian surplus net. I do have the military, long flash hider bayonet lug, but and I might put it on one day. I kind of like the look of the short one for practical reasons. I don't know. And no, I didn't. Oh, I don't. You're thinking of the SVDS, the 308 style Tiger flash hider. No, the one I put on mine is actually the 762 by 54R short flash hider. It's literally the style they put on semi-automatic. Well, duh. Sorry, SVDs. It's what they use in Tigers in Russia. So there's a specific one, but you're right. There are different external barrel dimensions, and so if you get one, make sure it's for that. But no, it slipped right on. There was no. I did not have to even ream or sand anything. It's almost as if the barrel it went on came from Russia. Hey, thanks, good shot. What's the chance of getting the FB Grot? Pretty good, assuming nothing crazy politically happens, if that makes sense. So everyone will be really fucking nice to the ATF for a while. I know it sucks, but just do it. There's a time and a place to kiss ass. Like if a cop pulls you over on the road, even if he's being a mustache dick, be nice to the cop. Yeah, sorry again, Emily. Again, if I was home, I could go do that, but I don't think I have any Mausers here. I almost brought my Chilean 7.62 rework to shoot, but I didn't. Hey, thanks, Tusk. Yeah, I after your last question, I actually asked Blaine in Atlantic about the Easy builds. Because I have the one from earlier. He said they're the same. He said they didn't make any changes in like the people doing them, the parts used, the quality of the parts are about the same. And so since the one I got early in the year, I really like. There's every expectation within reason that if you got one now, it would be of very similar quality. How to pick the right year? I don't know. Depends what you want. Sure, Chris, anytime. Yeah. Did you all go quiet or did my internet kind of jug on me there a bit? It's really good internet out here for considering where we're at, but you never know. Things, even when in town, the internet can get a little squirrely about 9 p.m. Sharpshooter. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not saying you should buy it because I know that it's a huge chunk of change. But if you want one, grab one now because they import these in the dozens, maybe at most 100 at a time, and they tend to sell out just in a few days. But I understand why it's a daunting thing, but if you wait too long, they're going to be sold out again. And trying to find a real SVD, yeah, you're going to spend like 20 grand. Now, finding a Russian Tiger, it's a little different. Those are a little easier, but keep in mind they've got a 20-inch barrel, not 24. And yes, I'm rounding. Another problem with the used Tigers, a lot of folks shot a bunch of cheap 7.62 54R surplus through them, which was corrosive. Bore condition is highly variable on those Tigers. As far as the Chinese Indian 86, since they're running about the same price as an HD 18, I would go with the HD 18. Only in my opinion. Would I go pre 70s for 200, 600 more? No. 70s Izzies are just as good. In fact, they have some features I rather prefer. I actually like the look of the late gas block, and I really do like the side mount on the stock that you see in the 70s. I mean, here's the thing. You look at an early 60s Ishesk, it looks like a Romanian or a Polish or an East German AK because when Russia transferred the data package for manufacturing to those countries, yeah, Egypt included, they were the early styles. I kind of like the 70s look because they become more uniquely Russian, and those would have been guns that theoretically would have been sent to Afghanistan. I mean, anything could have, but no, I find the Russian guns from the 70s more unique looking. That's actually why when I did the Legion USA thing a decade ago, I intentionally picked a 70s style to keep for myself. I just kind of thought it was more interesting looking. But your mileage may vary, only my opinion. Sierra, You like Wowzers. I like Wowzers too. Seth. They absolutely did, Seth. Go to cast components. They were a little bit later than Russia. I start noticing them around 1980, 81, and by 84, 85, they've kind of done the complete transition. Now, keep in mind when we say cast, this goes for Russia too. The front trunnion was never cast. The bolt was, of course, never cast. But the rear trunnion, the rear sight base, the front sight base, the gas block, the handguard retainer, that was actually one of the earliest parts to go to a casting. Why not? There's nothing wrong with casting for such things as long as you have good quality control. Guitar and Pedal Co. Hello, from the Ozarks again to Utah. Sharpshooter. Good shot. Yeah, the Atlantic does have some HD18s. I've not had Fox or anyone else really test it for accuracy. I mean, we've offhand and stuff, but no, we need to get the range set up here. It's also really hard to find true long distance shooting areas here in the mountains. It's here at the cabin, we'll be able to get maybe 250 feet, 300 if we kind of up it to them. But yeah, it's really hard to do the true long distance. But then again, you know, ammo matters a lot too. I don't have any of the actual sniper ammo that Russia used. Imano, how's things in Seattle? Sierra, the Wassenaar Wasser thing, it's all bullshit. Don't worry about it. The whole Wassenaar argument, that's just early internet speculation. I think that's if people were lying, but Romanian AKs were kind of obscure. They're everywhere, but no one knew a whole lot about them. So there are a lot of early myths and innuendos said about them. I have done a whole video on it. It's one of those things, but no, that's not what it is. Guitar and pedal. Thanks so much for stopping in. My cat can be a hero, not me. Yeah, tell me about a sharpshooter. If I had some 7-in-1, I wouldn't let Fox just blow through it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, one day we'll hopefully do stuff like that, but I can say it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely, minute of steel target accurate. So, it's definitely not shit. Skull. Ooby dooby. Emily. Okay, okay, okay. I should have said the, you know what I mean? It's not really respective of that. Sierra. I maybe we'll see an Ash 78 kit. The reason I say that, there were those Asian contract kits. So if we can get those Asian contract kits, I don't know yet. Luckily, at least unless the regulations change, the whole like third party nation origin thing works in our favor quite a bit for those situations. I'd like to have one because I've got that Albanian SKS and it'd be a good companion. William C. How's things up in Alaska? It's kind of all the places I'd like to enjoy one day. Emily, going on, huh? I think you drove my point home though, so I appreciate it. Sharpshooter. I don't know if surplus would be double. Now, I will say if it's surplus like light ball, I don't think it'll be quite 4 MOA. But if it's surplus like heavy ball, which is meant for machine guns, yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, those were meant to be not pinpoint guns. They were meant to do a very specific thing. And, 2 MOA, give or take, is more than enough to do the specific thing that the SVD was designed for, and YouTube doesn't want me saying. So, yeah, you get it. It's just not a match target gun, and it wasn't designed for super, super long range either. Uh, you kind of need those tighter groups if you're shooting over a kilometer, but that's just not what it was designed for. Also, keep in mind it was always designed to be mass produced. The idea was to give one to every squad, and to produce them in that level, yeah, it's actually kind of an amazing achievement. Tusk, thanks for participating, man. Sierra, good condition. That's relatively speaking. The thing is, if the metal is just worn, you can always refinish. What I hate is when kits come in and the furniture's beat to shit. Honest wear, some carving, that's cool, but I guess when I'm picking up kits, I always kind of look to the furniture more than the metal. And the reason it's kind of interesting you mention that, looking at Albanian SKSs, it goes both ways. Some of them were beat to shit when they were imported, and other ones looked pristine. So it really could go either way. No, you're not stupid. Good shot. Yeah, Atlantic's got some pretty cool stuff. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the few places as just a consumer I do buy from. As an FFL, I buy from a lot of wholesalers, other guns, but a lot of the guns that end up just being mine personally come from Atlantic because we just kind of have similar taste. Good shot. And by next barrel, I guess you mean the next like import. I don't know. The thing is, most military style guns made overseas do have a civilian counterpart, and I don't know what the ATF's going to let in going forward. I think we're going to look back at recent years and realize it was kind of the golden age of imports in particular. And all the things that are supposed to be coming, the FNCs out of Indonesia and all that, who knows if they're going to really make it. So I'm just trying to think if I can answer that. I will say, and I don't think it'll ever get as popular, but I have been pleasantly surprised by the Springfield Hellion, the VHS 2, especially the long barrel version. It has been shockingly a lot of fun. But full disclosure, my brain is fucked because I also like the HK G36. So, yeah, disregard anything I say. Ethan, yep, it is cooling off. This is the first, actual nice night out here in the Ozarks. This weekend was pretty goddamn brutal, even in the mountains. But no, actually had to go trade my shorts that I was wearing because I was working around the property and getting lost for actual, like, kind of thin sweatpants because out here on the porch, it's cooling off. Also, at least the cicadas aren't near as loud as they were a couple of months ago, right? Sharpshooter. Yeah, the LWRCs are great, but those American guns, plus the AR, not to play into the whole Russian guns are an accurate thing. That's definitely grossly overstated. However, American guns, the M1 Grand, the M14, Americans have always focused a little more on marksmanship than a lot of other countries. Sierra. Yeah, I'd like an R4. They're neat. Times move on, and and tooling does wear out. It just does. I wish they'd imported an actual Galil SAR in the 80s. Sierra, yeah, is that like the not like other girls binge? Matt, no, the M72, unless it just came in the last couple of weeks, hasn't been in yet. I'll get one when they do. But to be fair, I was told even back at Shot Show it'd be this fall, and literally fall just started like 2 days ago. So yeah, it's not overdue yet. And Zastava's usually pretty good about delivering what they promise. Oh, hey, I'm kind of curious. Can someone tell what time it is, and then that way I'll know what the delay is? Like, I wonder if it takes a minute for messages to come in, or if it's pretty much instantaneous. Just kind of curious. Heh, yeah, that's what I was saying too, Sierra. They did. Okay, so based on what William said, and adjusting for time zone differences, yeah, it's coming in right in. That's cool. Just kind of curious. Ethan, thanks. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I was wondering if I was behind or whatnot. Do we have to talk about the SGG 44? I mean, Palmetto State's doing the same crap that HMD did with it. I mean, enough so that the freaking PTR 44 is back. Okay, it's a new name, but yeah, that's how much time they've taken. Yep, I try to stay caught up. But sometimes I feel like it like lags for a second because then a bunch of messages kind of come in at once. This would be a lot easier if I had someone here to help, but yeah, fuck it, I don't. Brad, my first parts kit. Do you mean first AK kit or just like which type in general? Dusk. Jimbo, does your trigger do that during shooting or just like when you really baby it at the house? If so, I've had some do it. Heck, my Sega shotgun was did it. So it's a relatively common deal and it's pretty fixable. It usually just leads to burrs or stuff that are in there, or maybe just grit. So don't worry if it is doing it. That's a very fixable problem. Also check your firing control group retainer. Make sure all the pins are seated properly. The retainer is in there because sometimes it can do that if stuff gets out of whack. Guitar and pedal and AK and 6.5. Hey, if that floats your boat, great. Doesn't float mine. Sorry, Sierra. Yeah, did you say that before I did? But yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, the fucking PTR 44 came back. Red. AK kit. I don't know, man. I don't recommend anyone start off their AK adventure with a parts kit. I say get a factory built gun. But if you're just insistent, I whatever you can find. I haven't done many kit builds ever since the barrel ban because to me that just made everything yeah. And I would say get a Polish kit, but why not just get a WVP at that point? Why get a Romanian parts kit when you can just get a Wasser? That's kind of what happens is you start looking around and it just becomes cheaper and easier to get a factory built gun of some stripe. Yugoslavian, same great example. Why get an M70 kit build when you can get a nice Zastava PAP M70? See what I'm saying? But if you just really, really want it, I think the mentioned Ishesk AKM kits earlier are your best target because at least we know we won't be getting Russian AKMs and we never have. So yeah, Russian AKM build if you just really really want to. Seth, you're asking me what I prefer, a Finnish L35 Lottie or a Luger. Do you mean a Finnish Luger or like a German Luger? Also, if anyone wants to kick in a few bucks, it's always helpful. I got an electric bill I need to pay out here in a few days. Yeah, William. Here's the reason I say start off with a nice known built gun. That way, if your parts kit build is acting up, you'll have a good baseline to go, that's normal, or that's not normal. Wear patterns, trigger operations, the way it ejects. It's just nice to have because I started off with the Romanian SAR1. Great baseline, bog standard AK. And that way, when I did more advanced things, builds and stuff, I would know if it was acting proper or not. Yes, Sierra, for years the Wazir and even the Chinese guns before them just really got shit on. Brad, anytime. Ethan, yeah, the Wasser 1063s are really cool. That was just them being smart all around. They were using up parts they already had, so that let the cost come down. And you got some cool military variants and markings. And they still put brand new barrels in them, so you didn't have to worry about, well, this is a cool build, but the barrel shot up from years of use. So they really were great. The only thing you could say is they had the slab side receiver, which really bugs some people. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't prefer it over a dimpled, but I completely forget about it. It's just not a big deal to me. But only my opinion. Seth, I mean, I really love the Finnish L35. I really do. It's a cool gun. It's a unique gun. They're very rare. They're certainly rarer than German Lugers. I don't know. I'd probably go with an L35, but I'm probably in the minority. The problem with the Lugers, again, that's such a wide ranging market. There are some Lugers barely worth $1,500, like commercial ones, mismatches, whatever, and there are some worth $50,000. I will say be careful when buying a Luger. Check all the parts. I've had more troubles with Lugers than just about any other individual gun type. Broken parts, missing parts, mismatched parts, bad magazines. Not that it's a bad gun, but it's just for the money they bring, they can be kind of gumbled up. Sierra. Yeah, I on the 545 Palmetto State, and notice they don't even make those anymore, do they? I don't think so. Kind of makes it's starting to rain. Did I leave anything outside? I don't think so. I was making sure I didn't like leave guns outside. That I was doing right. Sorry. Yeah, it's starting to rain. Cool. Anyway, I mean, their Chinese Type 56 is a shooter. I'm sure it'll be fine. Their 7.6239 guns. I think they've after like 5 generations of them. I think they probably got the big bugs worked out. Ethan, yeah, on the 5.56 AK from PSA, I would be more hesitant. 5.56 AKs are always more difficult. That's why I praise the Beryl to high Evans. It's one of the few that is really as well built, dependable, durable as a standard 7.62, 39, or 5.45 by 39 AK. Most of your 5.56 AKs are kind of, even the Russian ones. I don't know. Chris Bull. Yep, I was saying that earlier in the video. Rail is done, which probably makes Bill happy that I won't run off, but here it is. It's a good, solid rail. So if you go over or pass or through this, it's your own goddamn fault. It's drunk resistant. I'm not gonna say proof. Nothing is drunk proof, but it's drunk resistant. Grizzly man. I think I smelled one of your relatives pooping in the woods earlier today. I was sitting out here while I'm talking with Sammy, and I had to stop and let him know that I just smelled poop really, really strongly. Yeah, I'm glad your GFI was running good. That doesn't surprise me, frankly. I think they've kind of worked out the big kinks. Sierra. It was a good one. I think the Zastava M90 is not at all shabby. I really don't. You know, the Arsenals, even the SLR 106s, of course, the Sam 5s, they've all had reported issues, even if it's not all of them. I don't know. Just, yeah. Okay, Grizzly liked my poop comment. Yay. Hey, thanks, Tusk. Right now, I'm using the headphones because they have the mic built in and it's a known quantity. I did bring like a regular one just in case, but they seem to be working fine, and that way I can walk around. But I do have that Bluetooth speaker that I use sometimes too. But unfortunately, it doesn't have a mic built in, which is a little annoying. But it's a speaker; it does speaker things. And also, what did you drop 2K at Atlantic on just now? The AK? Yeah, that Tele stuff. I'm hearing enough mixed reports that I'm a little hesitant in my guns. I like my guns. I love my guns. I don't want to have issues with them. Yeah, I did that in younger days. Kind of put less than great ammo in guns, and while I never completely broke a gun through ammo, I put unnecessary wear, regrettable rust on guns. I'm just not going to. Yeah, it's kind of like that, Jess. Yeah, let's see. What's mine? A 73. You've seen it in videos, but yeah, I in 70 is still going to have mostly machined parts. You might get a cast handguard retainer. I think that's it. I'm not near again my notes, but 70 would have been very early days. What's cool about 70 though? You could put a Bakelite mag in it because they came out in 1968, and I love the look of that gun with a Bake mag because it's so much bigger and more curved than you see. In fact, it looks like my dick. Anyway, moving on. Ethan. Yeah, I don't care much about the accuracy. I wonder why, but I do get concerned if you know potentially corrosive primers or just other things that might put undue wear on my barrel or gun. Yeah, that's what I heard too about the 5.45 Sierra. And with the current worth of all my 5.45 guns, even like my kit builds, like my Tanto, I'm just not doing it. And heaven forbid if it were in like my Arsenals or my Russians. No, that actually does legitimately terrify me. Seth, I don't think so. I think after those conflicts, people are going to sit on the guns they have. And keep in mind, even though a lot of guns go into those conflicts, a lot of them are being destroyed. And also, there could be stipulations like, let's say, Italy gives Ukraine guns, but there's a stipulation that they don't own them. It's like a lend lease thing. Who knows if those regions will even be free, legally speaking, to even sell us the guns? They may still technically other people's property, but of course, again, I'm very much on Ukraine's side. I will be clear about that. Yeah, I can equivocate about Israel. Ukraine is the victim, and I'm very pro Russian people. I live there. I have Russian family, but that war needs to end. And Russia has made crazy losses, but Ukraine has lost a lot of people too, and guns go with them. So the number of guns lost in war is nuts. If you ever look at statistics from like World War II or Vietnam, grizzly men. Have I tried any AAC 762? No, no, I haven't. I think Fox has though. Antigonus, man, I'm going to be very boring on 762 Wolf. I've always just kind of stuck with Wolf for that particular caliber. It's never, I've never had, I had that one bad batch years ago, but even it wasn't so bad that it wouldn't work in some guns. It just wouldn't work in others. Anyway, they replaced it, so whatever. Everyone's allowed to have one bad batch, in my opinion, but it just seems to be fine. Plus, I do kind of like that they don't super hot load their ammo, so it doesn't put undue wear and tear on my guns. It's got to be enough to cycle, which it is, but I don't like the super hot ammo in my guns if I can get away with not using it. Tusk, I haven't really listened to much music since I got out here. I've listened to some books, I've listened to that, but I've been pretty busy. I get up to the cabin. I need to do that. Probably one reason I haven't, as much as I remember most stuff I was going to bring, I had a big unopened a half gallon of vodka. I forgot it. There isn't a drop of alcohol in this cabin. Uh, it's a sad thing. 16-year-old me would be outright ashamed. Jimbo, I don't know what Stayer is or isn't gonna do. Sierra, yeah, I think you're right. The EU thing, especially if Ukraine does want to join the EU afterwards. Yeah, I just don't think so. I really don't. And again, after this aggression, they're probably going to sit on every gun that's still worth a damn and just stick it in reserve. I mean, look at what Finland did when the Comblot collapsed, when the Warsaw opponent went away. They bought hundreds of thousands of extra guns from East Germany and China, and they just stuck them in reserve. They said, "Well, we've got enough Valmets and a few Seikos for our needs, but if Russia ever gets uppity, why would that ever happen? We'll have a quarter million, almost brand new AKs in reserve for shit hits the fan situations." So I have a feeling that that's what Ukraine will do. And the ones that are too beat up, worn out bores, yeah, I think you're right. They'll just be destroyed. Checkpoint. Checkpoint like real Nazis. I don't know. I always like to say Nazis in like Winston Churchill's voice. Nazis. I think I would have liked Winston Churchill. He was the right kind of asshole. Ethan. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try the AAC ammo. I just, let's let it get it. I've learned with PSA, let them get a couple of generations in. If they usually, I'll give them credit as a company. They do learn, they do improve, and that's great. Arsenal could learn a thing or two from them. No, no, Ukraine was not killing and sniping people. That is what we call propaganda from Russia. Russia's really good at propaganda. They have been since the time of the Tsars. And yeah. No, Emily, I don't think they were saying Ukraine is in the EU. However, nations that have been donating war material to Ukraine are, and it could just get complicated. And they probably just want to stay on their good side. I mean, why would they not? I mean, look how much effort like the Netherlands and whatnot are going to support them. M4 Johnny, I do have some Swiss news, but I can't talk about it yet. It actually directly involves me. Yes, I talked to Dave last week. We've both been so busy we haven't had much time to really meet up. We have a meeting scheduled. I think it's tomorrow. No new imports since the last batch. There are some 751s coming in. There are some PE90s coming in. 551 LBs coming in. But you know how Switzerland is. They're gonna say October and it'll be fucking February. So trying to give actual release dates is futile. It's worse than the Borg. So they'll be here when they're here. That's the only good thing I can say about Switzerland. If they say something's on order, they will deliver it. It might be 6 months or a year late, but they will deliver it. I don't think one order has been outright canceled from them so far. Yep, I still shoot wolf, Chris. I mean, I don't mind other things. I've also used some of like the Red Army Standard or whatever the Century stuff is. It's not as good, but it's okay. It's Wazzer worthy. Grizzlyman. Yeah, the Hornady stuff is good. Yeah, exactly, Sierra. You could, me and you, we're the same mind. I like it. I like it. Sure, Johnny. Yeah, I'm not gonna say shit won't end up on the black market because anytime there's war profiteering, and there's always in every war in any country for the history of humanity, there's a fucking black market. That is exactly what always happens because, of course, it does. I think I'm up to date, so I'm gonna walk in real quick and get me a slurp of water. Oh, sitting on the swing. Well, I'm glad I didn't. I almost thought about doing. I got a second swing and put it in the backyard, and I thought about doing it out there, but I'm glad I wasn't out there. It's a decent little rain. Nice rain though with the metal roof. I like hearing it hit the tin. Sounds like my dishwasher's done as well. Let me just check on it here. Doo, doo, doo. If, like I said, if anyone wants to toss in a few bucks, greatly appreciate it. Yep, and the dishes are making sure that it's a cheap but good new dishwasher. I don't say good, but I was making sure it's working properly. This is only the second time I've run it, so you never know. I'm gonna go check on my cat. Peanut, what's up, good girl? Mm-hmm. Here is Peanut, guys and girls. Luckily, she doesn't know she's on camera. Yeah, the bar is a little high here, so I don't think she can jump up. You have been very lazy today. I'll take her to the bathroom, see if she needs anything, though. Get back out there and start reading your comments, guys. Here you go. Don't act like you don't remember where the food's at. For some reason, she wants me to take her to the food. I don't know why my family says she's spoiled. Too bad I can't show guns on live streams. Oh well. Them's the rules. What is it? Do me a favor, Peanut. See if there's any mice in the cabin yet. You can be a good mouser. Alrighty. One thing we still need to do is put up the screen doors. It's been so hot it just didn't seem important. But if it actually starts to be decent weather, that won't take but an afternoon to hang the two screen doors. Alrighty. Let's see what you folks said. I've even got a little mini fridge out here. I had brought it out for the first few cabin trips before the big fridge was here. For the first few months, I could put something. And now I figure it'll become a drinks fridge. It doesn't have a little freezer in it. It's just it was $99 special at one of the home stores. I think it was Lowe's. Alright, give me a sec, guys. Hope everyone's having a good evening. And again, if anyone can pitch in some cash, it never hurts. But if you can't, you can't. Alright, I sit down here. I like my new keyboard. It's very clicky, but it's not hurting my wrist. The other one I had here was kind of a small one I traveled with, and it was great for checking emails for a day, but trying to work on it for a week sucked. So Sierra sees Peanut. Yep, she's a very good cat. She's just shy. Luckily, she didn't know she was on camera. What she hates is the phone. She doesn't identify my headset as a phone, so it's okay. But if the phone rings and I'm on the phone, oh, she gets perturbed. This, yeah. Hey, thanks, good shot. Heading out, man. Yeah, sorry, it's kind of on a Tuesday night, but again, I just want to make sure it'd work. I'll try to do at least do one more this week. Yeah, it's about time. I think I'm gonna go cook something. I'm getting a little nibbly. Crispo. Yeah, I mean, this place, Chris, if I did like solar to generate power or some other alternative way of doing power, I mean, theoretically, I could run a generator, but then you're burning fuel. It could be totally off grid because it's got a well. It's all electric. I didn't do gas, which means I don't need a big old tank. That just made me a little nervous having a big old fuel tank next to it. It's on its own septic system, so that's there. So yeah, aside from power, I only have the one bill out here, power, and that even includes my internet. So literally just one bill a month. It's quite handy, and thanks to good insulation, the electric isn't too bad. Sierra, beer fridge, wine fridge, whatever. Seth. We've already seen an import of AMD 65s and actually AK 63D, 63Fs years ago, but not recently. But keep in mind, FEG doesn't exist. FEG Defense, I'm just going to be straight, it's a fucking joke. Like, it's a joke. They don't make hardly anything there. They assemble stuff. They get parts from wherever. They claimed years ago, oh yeah, we're going to do all these guns. Where are they at? And they're just weird on their business practices. But Yeah, the original FEG factory shut down its firearms division, I think in 2004, if memory serves, but you know, a long time ago. Hey, thanks, Ethan. Yeah, I used to have two cats, her and Oscar. He was also a tabby cat, a striped cat, but we lost him to cancer a couple of years ago, so now it's just her. So I bring her. I'm gonna bring her out here every time. At least if I'm gonna be here more than like a day or two, I'm just gonna bring her. I wasn't sure how she was gonna like it, but after she was, rather nervous for a day, she came out of her shell and seems to be doing quite well. I brought some of her favorite canned food to kind of bribe her too. Well, guys, any other questions? Looks like it's 9:49, so we got started. I think I logged on at 8:10, so we'll go about another 15 minutes to make it, basically 2 hours, and then I'm gonna go cook myself and spend a little time with Peanut. She needs actually quite a few hours of petting and grooming and whatever cats think they need today. But yeah, any other last minute questions, thoughts, whatever's? Let me know. Ooh, it's nice out here. I like rain. It relaxes me. I sleep well out here too, mountain air and everything. Hey, I can probably open the windows tonight. Get some of that breeze going. Off the mountain, it has a nice little breeze. I think the internet, the little thing again. Yes, Sierra, I did. I think the original. I think even calling it the Hungarian Springfield, at least Springfield does have a facility and they've delivered multiple, honestly, pretty cool ass products to market. I know there's criticisms of them like any company, but let's be honest. They brought us the M1A, they brought us the BM59, the SAR 3 and 8, the SAR 48 and 4800. They really do, and some really nice 1911s too. In fact, I've got a Springfield operator here, one of the USMC ones that we're shooting. FEG Defense delivered some HD 18s, and that's it. Tap rack. Yeah, you're right. The early triggers and the SARs and Wassers blow a donkey dick because they're a US made part and they were cast and they were just crap. And how crappy were they? Well, when Century switched to Tapco around 2004, the G2, which is not a trigger I really like, that was considered an improvement. No, if you have one of those, just replace it with anything. I've replaced all mine. Luckily, very easy part to swap out. Oh, and I also recommend getting rid of that, paper clip retainer because I've had those walk out and bend on me. Just put a good retaining plate in. There's several styles. Your mileage can vary as just to what you prefer, but that is a very good update. So much so that even a lot of civilian semi-automatic imports from overseas are now being seen with them. Surplus Shepherd. I'm thinking of Shepard from Stargate Atlantis and like a surplus him. So there you go. And I'm doing well, yeah. Sierra, yeah, I mean, I brought out a couple of AKs, and there's always stuff. It's just it's hard. There's not a bunch of new AK stuff, and the guns that are out there are expensive. And as I've said in past live streams, I just don't have a lot of interest in like Palmetto State. Again, that's not saying they're crap, and because of that, it's just I don't have anything to add to the conversation. I only want to do a video even if it only gets like 2 views, where at least I'm doing something unique and contributing to the market or the knowledge base. Like doing that whole video on the North Korean type 68 bayonet, aside from that being a really cool gift from a random viewer, there wasn't much out there, so I knew I could add to the some knowledge of the world in some weird way. But yeah, uh, but yeah, we'll talk about the Pioneer situation, the KUSA situation. Those are other 2 videos that are already underway. See what else. I've been kind of wanting to revisit the Valmet. Tusk. Best contact for me? Tap Rack. Yeah, anytime, man. Sierra. Yeah, I don't have a problem with police surplus. I like police surplus. In fact, back in the day when they were more prevalent, I did a lot of police surplus. But no. In fact, one of the very few guns that I actually regret selling, I've sold a lot of guns that I liked, but I don't regret selling. But it was actually a police surplus Smith& and Wesson. I'm a big Smith revolver fan. Model 28-2 Highway Patrolman that had the New York State Police shield on it. And while I did get decent money out of it, I regretted that. I don't have another in frame. It was that right level of wear, and it just looked like a freaking duty gun. And it looked like something that an honest old cop could just smack a person on PCP upside the head with and get him to pay attention. It looked like a real old fashioned shooting iron, and I miss it. So I've told people for years if another one like it comes around, I'd like to pick it up. That's one of the few guns I regret. I also remember having those Ruger Mini 14 police trading guns, which is why I kept one of the recent GB replicas. Okay, my email is simple. It's ozarkbeararms at gmail.com. OZARKBEARARMS. So pretty straightforward. Bear like the animal at gmail.com. I just don't have it on YouTube here to comply with their rules. That's all. Hey, Chad. I'm in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas, northwest Arkansas. Yeah, north of the River Valley. Yeah, the Ozark Mountains. Sounds like the rain has stopped, but there's no guarantee. Rain. It's kind of what I did a night or two ago. A little bit of rain, but should cool things off a bit. It was already getting a lot better today. All right, guys, about 10 more minutes. So, yeah, any more last minute questions or last minute donations would be appreciated. Because I'm getting hungry. Is it true saying it like Arkansas is illegal? No, but it should be. To be fair, we were here long before Kansas too. Yeah, Eureka is east of where I live. But yeah, it's Eureka's a little north of here. Well, a little bit. It's a bit of a drive, but yeah, in that area, south of Eureka, in the mountains. You say you snagged the C93. Do you mean the old Century HK33 builds? I need to get Peanut a little like porch stool thing she can sit in and watch me through the window when I'm out here. Yeah, those Century C93s, they were really hit or miss. Like the first ones were kind of eh. And I don't mean like they're gonna blow up on you. It was more like some had really tight mag wells, some just weren't that reliable, some were just mag picky. But it's just time went on, they did narrow it in with those, and at a time they were really affordable. Like you could pick one up new from Century for $500. That was pretty cool because there aren't that many HK93s in the country. I think it may be the rarest of the pre-bands. And so, yeah. Well, the thing is, if you have one, just make sure you have spare mags because they can go hard to find quite quick on the market. Hey, thanks on the cabin. Yeah, it's pretty much done. I got a little decorating to do. Need to hang a couple of things and waiting for one more chair for the living room. But Ethan, cat couch. Is the cat on the couch? Yeah, Sierra, you know how I like to set me L. The Markamars have been a lot of fun. You know, it's a shame too because when Zenith did the MKE, the Z43P, it didn't get any love, and it was so much a shame. It was a good gun, priced right, came with three mags, and it was in more or less an HK33K configuration. I know you could quibble and say, well, it wasn't quite a 33K, whatever, but it was cool, and they didn't sell for shit, and it was a shame. The 9 mils sold like hotcakes. Sierra, I don't really feel one way or the other about Southern Tactical. I know who they are, and that's about it. So I'm afraid if I told you anything, I'd just kind of be making stuff up. But the internet, say what you say. But I would say with any company like that, don't let one or two bad reviews because everyone's got them spoil you. However, if you start looking and half the reviews are bad, then you got to worry. But most builds can be corrected, and that's good. But also see what kind of warranty they offer or return policy. Chad, yeah, almost every single person I've talked into a set meal has been pretty happy with it, including the gentleman that I did that test firing video on a few weeks ago. He got it and was really stoked about it. They're a lot cooler and more fun for us weird guys that just like weird things than people give them credit for. I think a lot of people just think they're an HK33 knockoff and couldn't be further from the truth. Real people. Uh, I always sell on Gunbroker. I've always got different auctions up. It's part of my job. Ethan. Yep. Set meals are cool. I've had good luck with them. Unfortunately, a lot of the variants are gone. I've heard that they're going to do one more run of like LVs and LVSs, the scoped ones. I don't know if they're ever going to do any more LCs. I would imagine maybe one more run as they use up parts. But it's cool that Marco Mars pretty much done all the variants. Sierra. Yep, I'm about to follow you off. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and frankly helping out tonight. But yeah, like minds on a lot of things there. Personal opinion, and we did a video about a year and a half ago. I actually like, and I used an actual HK93 in the video. I think at least the set meal holds its own with an HK93. It's a really nice gun in my opinion for the money. Chad, yeah, I run a gun shop, but I don't really do public facing. I just do internet. Between shipping orders out, doing YouTube, all that, I am not for want of things to do. All right, guys. I think 5 minute warning. Again, any last donations or questions? Toss them in. It's starting to rain again. It just occurred to me one thing I also didn't bring with, and I even thought to do it because I knew the weather was going to change, a jacket. But it was just so hard to even think about that because when I left home, like Friday, it was so freaking hot and humid. It just, yeah. Oh well. Daytime still shouldn't be cool. Yeah, I didn't say get a set me L to be like your bang around rifle. It's not the kind of gun you get wanting to customize it. It's the kind of gun you get just for the fun factor, the weird factor. I mean, it has a rail on top for an optic. Cool. That's a concession to modernity. But yeah, you're not gonna go swapping around the furniture, stuff like that. It's not a I guess in some ways a practical rifle, a work rifle. It's a hey, this is a kind of weird, a cool weird thing to show people. Piece of history. They did serve in the first Gulf War. I don't know, and it is good for what it is. But yeah, you're not gonna customize much. Yeah, Ethan, you have a good night too. One nice thing about doing live streams out here, I don't have to worry about my phone ringing. Really starting to smell like rain out here too. Rain and wood. The wood's all still very fresh out here. We actually still need to put a coat of paint on the outside before winter. I was just, I was just looking over at something. Yeah, Chad. Yeah, I'll definitely answer questions. You never asked for the right answer, so yeah, I'll give an answer. That's for sure. Or I'll show my cat. It's just my luck to get banned on YouTube for showing pussy on live stream, wouldn't it? Alrighty, folks. Any last minute things? Any last little things there? I gave you my email if anyone wants to holler at me, whatnot. Nothing really super new in the gun world. Still been doing quite a bit with DSA, FALs. That's pretty cool. Just kind of waiting to see what happens new. I just heard thunder. Yeah, thunder. Now I'm really glad I'm still not lost out in the woods. That would have sucked. Yep, rain's really coming down now. Now if we can just avoid tornadoes this time. Alrighty. Everyone's kind of gone quiet too, so. Seeing the internet's still working. Just doing one more check, give it if there's any like laggy questions, and then I'm gonna call it good. I think trying to think exactly what I want to cook. Doopy doopy. All right, made it to the 10:10 mark. I was kind of waiting on that just so it'd be there. So I'm shutting down the little window here. Appreciate everyone kicking on this impromptu live stream. Sorry, if anyone doesn't know is listening to this in the future, yeah, I'm pausing to listen to my TTS talk to me, so I do the best I can. Just how life goes. So yeah, going to end this here. Working on several new firearms videos. Of course, not a lot of new guns to talk about, but sometimes if something hasn't been on the channel in a while, what's old kind of becomes new again. And with the cabin done, it should let us get more shooting in and get more guests here. It's just more comfortable to do. And what I'm really liking is I don't have to get in a hurry. Before we came out here to shoot or anywhere else, we had to bring all our guns, shoot them all in one day, get it in. It was a whole deal. I can do one gun a day or two here and just, really spend time with it. If something breaks, I can work on it. If something's really cool, we can keep shooting it. I can keep the stuff out here, cleaning solvents out to pack it all in. Hell, I even keep my ear pro out here now. So it really is working out great, and I'm hoping it'll allow for more shooting and more just outdoors time, and also a more relaxed attitude, kind of a. And I hope that comes through in the videos as the year goes on. The only thing is we're going to have to do as much as we can in the next month or so because then deer season will be kicking in through November and part of December. We can still do videos, still be out here, but the shooting portions will have to be scaled back quite a bit because, got to respect the rights of the hunters and other people out here as well. So yeah, this Tuesday, after getting lost in the woods, making it back to the cabin to the live stream, really appreciate everyone who kicked in and helped out, and I'll try to do another one of these in a couple days. This is Misha. Catch you very soon next time.